how to get to Roatan, Honduras. We have many options now, which is really nice. We used to only have a Saturday to Saturday flight, plus, well, that was pretty much it, or a little private charter. Now we have daily flights, we have ferries, we have so many different things. Not always the cheapest way to get here. However, we do have all of the major US carriers do fly most of the year daily flights from Miami to Houston. You have your United American. Delta does have at least a Saturday to Saturday from Atlanta. Denver, you also have direct from Denver multiple times a year, especially during high season. But you are looking at daily availability from the United States through either Miami or Houston on all the major carriers. You also have two Canadian airlines that fly sometimes direct, it's high season, WestJet and Sunwing. Sometimes there is a pit stop in Minneapolis and that comes direct to Roatan. Most of those are seasonal, so they are not all the time, but from that December through that May, you have a lot more options. When it goes to the slow season, you still have the daily flights from Houston and Miami, but all the other cities do kind of drop off a little bit. We've had flights direct from Chicago, so we do have many of those. If you're coming over from Europe, the big hubs are going to be Atlanta, Miami, Houston again. Atlanta is that Saturday to Saturday for, well, the whole year, and then it varies, but those are going to be your two or your three big hubs. What's also nice if you are coming from Europe or not North America, you have a lot of options going into either Guatemala City or San Pedro Sula, which is San Pedro Sula, Honduras. So there are direct flights from Honduras to Spain. We also have direct flights. We have easy flights from Roatan. We do have our local carriers. So in addition to your large internal and international flight, you do have options on some of our more local airlines to go from Roatan to San Pedro, Tegus, to Belize City, to Guatemala City. Guatemala City is a hub for Avianca, so you get a lot of options there. And then you can also pop over to Cayman, and then you get a direct flight over to London. So you do have a lot of options. So if you can get close, you can probably get on CM Airlines is the one that I like to take. Sosa Airlines also works. Those flights are about $79 to $120 one way. That can get you to the island if you can just get to the vicinity, especially if you can get like a $200, $300, $400 flight. Get over to Honduras, and then you can safely get to Roatan, Honduras. You can also fly to or go to La Ceiba and take a ferry that goes it's twice a day, every day. Also, the same is true if you're going to Guanaja or Utila. Well, not every day. Utila is every day. The ferry to Guanaja goes a couple times a week depending on the season. So you do have lots of options. Google is your friend, but what you will not see on the Google flights if you are using that. So you get all the main airlines. Avianca is a good one to think of if you are coming from North America. All those different partner airlines, but Avianca is a big one that has a hub in Guatemala City, and they're starting to open up those flights again, which they kind of shut down during COVID, but they're starting to open up again. But if you can get to Honduras, we do have a lot of local options that I pop over to the mainland all the time. I prefer to fly because the ferry can be a little bouncy, even though it's a nice air-conditioned ferry with snacks and all the things. I just prefer to fly. So anyway, you have lots of options. Ferries around $70. The local flights are about $70 to $120 depending on when you book your ticket. Flight prices are all across the board. If you just go get a direct flight, you're probably looking at, well, if you're at one of the hubs, it's going to be more expensive, but we have random cheap flights from like Nashville or New Orleans. We do have some flights from New Orleans also where it's $400 to $500. Or you're looking at the pricey ones, like the darn flight from Denver to Roatan. It's always at least, the cheapest I've ever gotten is $900. The most I've ever paid is $1,800 for economy. But anyway, if you do get creative with it, Google Flights really helps. And then if you could just get close to either Belize City, San Pedro, Tegus, La Ceiba, Guatemala City, or Cayman, Those are going to be your major ones, and then you do have really nice local options that are regular on or on a daily basis that make it nice and easy for you too. So thank you guys for tuning in. Happy travels, and we'd love to see you on this beautiful island.